is distracting the army over there. So if we can at least focus down on yellow's base, we have an opportunity to at least kind of even the score up. But orange is still marching straight onto dark blue's base. Welcome to this Halo Wars 2 match where you're going to see not 1, not 2, not 3, but 23 total bases being destroyed in this game. We are duking it out mano a mano, trying to make sure that we are trying to one-up each other and see who is going to come out victorious. You see, the way I'm opening up, I have myself a gen being upgraded. We got ourselves a ghost taking enemy supply in the map, and these marines on the opponent's side are trying to be a little bit sneaky. They're trying to take our power. Did you know what? Not today. We got our resources right away, wasn't able to be stolen, and we stole some of red's supply as well. Now, we're going to continue focusing on getting supplies around the map. We're not really missing much right now, except now we're going to try and get the scout. I pinged to let them know, hey, I took red's resources. I'm pretty proud of it because they tried to take mine. But it does look like we are going to try and go into some sort of ghost play. Red's showing up with an armory, which means they're going to end up going hero. Let's see what yellow is going to go ahead and do. And we do have a second gen up, which is nice to see. We don't know what yellow is going to do just yet. We don't know what that fifth building slot is, but we'll start working on the power node on our side while the ghost goes ahead and checks to see what is going to be orange plan of action. Now we got the scout, and it looks like orange just pretty much has a full economy base right now. We're gonna check the mini now, and orange still shows pure economy. So this is going to be my cue to go ahead and start thinking about trying to grab an expansion base, because red is only showing hero, which that is not really too threatening, and yellow didn't really show any sort of aggression coming from them as well. They have been doing a very good job capturing the node so far, but with us now putting our second leader point for the extra vision of our vehicles, we're going to try and capitalize on this situation with ghost production to see if we can now start doing damage and start taking the nodes ourselves. Right now dark blue is taking the middle part of the node. We see if we try to get a little flank situation with our units, but we did not. So we're going to try and capture it with one of our units, and there goes the red Forge Hawk. It is a little bit concerning. We're going to have to retreat just a little bit, but we are using the ghost to capture, and the reason why is because now Forge is starting to head on over to try and stop the ghost from capturing, but we were able to pull him away, but we still end up losing the ghost in the process. We didn't really do a good job routing that army, and now we kind of led Forge straight to our expansion base. So this isn't really looking too hot. We are going to go for tech 2, and yellow is streaming their reinforcements all the way over to my expansion base. So we've locked that base up. This is not looking good because their ghost is actually has shields, and so we're also at a disadvantage here. I don't think I'm going to be able to win this engagement. Hopefully we cancel that ghost, which we did, and it does look like they're sending all their reinforcements over. And we did not cancel that ghost actually, so it's just in that base locked up for now. We're still making additional ghosts just in case they try to go ahead and pressure us, but right now dark blue is going to shift over to try and focus on the power nodes and kill as much units as they can. But the Forge Hog is going to try and start focusing on the hero there. We're also trying to get our ghost out of there, which we were able to successfully. That is nice to see. But that base is a goner, and that means we're going to try and get an apex up with a foundry so we can try and go into vehicle play. Meanwhile, this Spartan is going to be a little bit in trouble with the Johnson and the Forge. The Spartan is going to be able to escape, especially if it does its hijack ability up on the ramp, which it was able to. My ghosts have shown up to help assist, but it doesn't look like we need to go ahead and commit any further than what we have. But it looks like dark blue actually involuntarily brought their army straight over to me. And so now my main base, which practically has nothing right now, this is spelling doom and gloom because I need to somehow get rid of these shielded ghosts. And there's a bunch of Marines heading this way too. We're going to try and get some Rams in, but their ghosts are significantly better than ours, and I'm about to lose the rest of my army, and that Forge Hog is just doing good work. So we're going to try and get a shield gen up at the bottom right hand side. But it's not looking good for us. The Spartan is still trying to kill as many ghosts as possible to try and keep the shield gen alive. And so far, great ground pound. Did a little bit of damage. We have ourselves a cleansing beam as well. And Anders used her arc swarm. EMP Mac comes in to help with the ghosts. And now we're going to be able to have a cleansing to clean this up. Once we actually have the supply, we don't. So the Marauders are going to try and do as much as they can. And here comes that cleansing beam to go after the rest of these Marines, which is going to be very nice to see, because now the Forge Hog is kind of overcommitting to get rid of the shield gen, and we have a one-on-one. Can the Marauder take out the Forge Hog? Absolutely it will. And there we go, it went down. Orange is at a full-scale retreat, and while that battle was happening, Orange actually ended up losing their expansion base. So now we have bunker that we're trying to clear out so we can hopefully try and get the power node back. Things have kind of reset. I'm on one base, Orange is on one base, and dark blue and light blue both have expansions. And so if there's anyone that needs to be on one base, I'll take one for the team. I can be a team player sometimes, and that's a big sometimes. And this is one of those games. So dark blue is going to go ahead and capture that node. We're going to start making some locusts to deal with these bunkers that are going to be maybe problematic down the line, and hopefully we'll be able to capture that node, and it looks like we'll be able to. And we have to start looking towards a second base. Light blue is still pressuring Orange's main base, probably going after some supply depots or some gens, and that's going to give me an opportunity to go ahead and try and get a second base, see if we can capture the middle node with the ghost, and shift on over to the left hand side. Now I do think it's going to be a little bit of a fine balance. We don't have a strong army, but maybe we can get enough of an army to do some damage. Speaking of which, red is going to try to go after that Kodiak in middle, but with the Spartan there, hopefully they'll be able to prevent that. And so Siege is trying to set up by the Anders on their side of the map, and there goes a second base by yellow. So we're doing a good job capturing the node, but red with their Warhog tech is going to start doing some good damage against dark blue, clearing out those Kodiaks, and I see that on the map. So I need to get ready to start retreating because red is heading straight on over. The Marauders are doing good damage, but it's not like I have displacement or anything like that. So we need to start retreating because mantises have also appeared as well. So the retreat is trying to happen. The Warthogs are there. I was a little bit too late. And now the Rams are coming in. The Y move for the engineer for the damage reduction. So we were able to take a lot of good mine hits. But it's not looking good. They even have Wolverines. These engineers are not going to last long. And we need to try and retreat. Because even though we're going to be able to kill the Nightingale, and we do have a Spirit Assault that we can go ahead and drop, it's going to be a little bit problematic. We just lost a lot of our army. A scatter bomb's going to come right on it. We're going to try and pop the Y move on the engineer to see if we can save at least one of those level 1 engineers. The level 2 hunter is doing a magnificent job, but red is still doing great. Heavy metal was popped. We're going to try and focus down on some of these Warhogs, and with the assistance of dark blue, we're going to be able to push back red. But at what cost? We only have ourselves an expansion base with a war console on it. Our economy isn't doing anything too crazy, and wow, I was a little bit frantic to be making a second war console, but dark blue has given me artillery, so that means we're going to be in a little bit of a better spot defensively because of that. So looking at this game as a whole, every team member on both the opponent's side and on our side has expansion bases. So there could be numerous game plans here. It looks like dark blue is going with the Kodiak and or Siege support, which means it's going to be my responsibility because of the fact that I have this extra vision to see if we can go ahead and deal this additional damage or just provide vision for these Kodiaks as a whole. Light blue did find red's army, and they're going to try and take this engagement. Mechanical overcharge was popped, which was pretty good, but orange is now coming in for the flank, and so light blue needs to start retreating before they start overcommitting in this situation, because status mine and conduit of rage is being used on that side. But now we have shrouds. we're going to try and push this left-hand side. There is some siege support that's happening in the middle. We do have a cleansing beam if we can. EMP mat comes down, so even though some of the units were able to retreat, which was nice to see, unfortunately light blue lost a lot of his army, but is going to try and hit orange's expansion base, which will be nice to see if they're going to be able to take that. The Spartan's going to try and hijack the Mantis. I could have supported that Spartan if I was a little bit better with that, especially getting a good cleansing beam for it. But right now we're low on power, so we can't really help them out, and now we're going to have to start retreating again. We kind of putting our army in a very bad position. Our shipmaster's here, and we're going to put in a cleansing beam to see how many units we... Mechanical overcharge comes in, so that's just going to null all that damage. And now there's just a huge push that is happening on the right hand side on light blue. We have some great siege on this left hand side, but it looks like light blue is going to be left to dry. A great EMP Mac is going to come in, and that cleansing beam that I had would have been great to have been used there. But for now, I see what dark blue is trying to do, and I need to start pushing because light blue is not going to be in a good position. And dark blue is going to start moving their Kodiaks up. We're going to go ahead and double commit on this left hand side and leave light blue out to dry. Poor Apple Pie 57, it's not looking too good for them. I'm trying to drop in a Spirit Assault to see if I can help, but it is not looking good on that right hand side. But we can try and get ourselves a push on this left hand side, see if we can use these Kodiaks and Locusts to take out that base. But my army that I dropped in is not going to make it on that side. And so now we have siege. We're going to get rid of these watchtowers, and we're going to try and focus down on the base. Light blue is pinging dark blue for assistance because he's mid, but it doesn't look like we're going to go ahead and get that. Shipmaster is going to try and deal with the Johnson that's going to be over here at the top. He is at Tech 3, so he does have that Gauss machine. But we're going to try and focus down on the base with our Locust. We did lose a Reaver, which will be unfortunate, but we are going to be able to take out Yellow's expansion base. So we are now set up on one base apiece. And fortunately, it was a Johnny on both sides. Red's coming in with a huge flank while Yellow's trying to hit Dark Blue's base. So now we need to try and get rid of as much of Red's units as much as possible, and it does look like it's doing a relatively decent job with our Locusts that we have, but we need a lot more anti-air. Those Nightingales are going to do a very good job healing. See, those Nightingales are still there. I didn't even need the screen to know that, but we got rid of the Forge Hog. The siege from the Anders is just doing magnificent, and we're going to be able to clean all this up, which means now displacement can be used to go ahead and push armies back or get them out of position if we're trying to go ahead and go for a counter push. So their Nightingales are going to go ahead and try and scout the left hand side of my base. We're not really going to be too concerned. We're going to put a shield gen on there, start getting some turrets up with some sensor tower while we go ahead and try and hit Red's expansion base if possible. So we got ourselves a nice combination. We got an air pad and a garage, but nothing really showing that it's kind of scary that we can't push this. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. Meanwhile, Orange is coming in with a huge army on Light Blue's base. So we're kind of here against the clock. I do have a displacement, which will be nice. We can at least pull back the Hunters. We're going to at least let Light Blue kill the Grizzly tanks. My bad. EMP Mac comes down, no idea where. There's a lot going on right now. Some siege is being placed, and we got a whole bunch of Anders siege everywhere. Light Blue's base is under attack. We're pressuring Red's expansion base. We have two random Nightingales that are still scouting on my side, and we have a level 1 shipmaster as well, but we got rid of the expansion base as well from Red. And so we are near the final chokehold, and Light Blue is trying to go Vultures, but unfortunately they need to try and grab a second base elsewhere. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Orange, and it does look like there is some more siege coming in from Red, so we kind of need to position ourselves in a way where we can at least deal with Light Blue. We're going to use a cleansing to go after these Engineers and Banshees. More Y moves are being used, which is going to be great to see. The cleansing beam was alright. It could be a little bit better, but with the siege, a scatter bomb has come down right on the army. We did only lose one Locust, which is at least alright. And the Spartan is distracting the army over there. So if we can at least focus down on yellow's base, we have an opportunity to at least kind of even the score up. But orange is still marching straight onto dark blue's base. But the Forge Hog is there. Great stun by dark blue. And we're going to try and take out the Forge Hog as well as... Oh my gosh, orange is attacking dark blue's main base pretty well too, and it's kind of in shambles, but it looks like orange is retreating. There's just so much going on in this game right now, and we're going to just continue our push. Light blue has digging in deep. I'm going to believe that they do. They are a Johnny. They're on one base, so they need to be able to build their resources for free. That is what digging in deep does. They can build their buildings for no cost, while we continue to try and push red's base. Red's starting to retreat, at least near the power node, and now Anders has popped her ability to try and zone out any units that try to come from that side. Our locusts will be able to do a lot of damage, but as you can see, red's gone double air pad, and when you see double air pad as forged, that only means one thing, and one thing only: vultures. There it goes, right on cue. But I do have a Reaver to go ahead and deal with it. They're going to try and use a Y move on it, but check this out. Oh, we got a nice jump, but nope, it skirted on over to the Reaver anyways. But it does look like we will be able to get rid of red's base, which is nice to see. But dark blue's base is not looking too hot. It looks like it's going to be taken out even with the Arc Swarm. So we've gotten another base destroyed, and that's my cue. I'm going to start getting fortification. I need to start planning for them to start hitting me, honestly. But we got rid of all of red's bases, so that means red looks like they are on their last leg. We don't know if they've been eliminated. I don't remember the text. They have not been eliminated, so they do have 3 vultures in the map right now, and they're going to try and start shifting over to dark blue. Now, I think I have an opportunity to hit orange's main base, but now I'm starting to see units streamline on over to orange, which is going to be a little bit problematic. Conduit of Rage is there. There are some Bashins, and I don't think that's an engagement that I can absolutely take, but we're going to try and stay there for as long as we can. But now here we go. Orange is going to try and come in on us, and here comes a... Oh my gosh, great plasma torpedo by the Arbiter. We're going to at least use our Shipmaster to get rid of that. We have a displacement, which will be nice, but I think we're just going to use mass cloaking to move our army on out of here. I think we overstayed our welcome, which is going to be a little bit unfortunate, and yes, we did. There's just too many units here by orange. At least a couple locusts still survive, but Y move by a vulture will be problematic. So we don't really have much army left over here, but the Spartan over there by Anders is going to continue to fight their best. My Shipmaster's here as well to try and go after the hunters. And so now we're in this weird situation. The map has now flipped in like a 90-degree way, where orange is trying to go after dark blue and light blue's expansion base on the left-hand side. Their Spartan with my hero could hopefully do some good work against orange at the top. But I need to try and get something going at the bottom hand side. Speaking of which, there is a Condor out in the map by yellow. Yellow was able to salvage enough resources to get themselves a Condor, and orange is still doing a great job keeping dark blue distracted. So now essentially it's going to be up to me. Light blue is still trying to rebuild, and if we can at least get rid of red's expansion base over here, we will have a shot. Because think about it, red only has 2 bases right now, and they're both being built, which means they're on a timer. We are going after the 2 vultures right now, even though one of our Reavers is getting Y move. Great dodge for one of them, but we did take a little bit of damage from it. But you know what, it's okay. We at least got rid of the expansion base by red, so if we can get rid of the other one, that would be good. But now we have to go after this Condor. So a good damage was done by dark blue against this Condor, and now we're going to try and come in. We're going to try and get advanced cloaking. I don't know why we didn't upgrade our cleansing beam instead, but our shroud's going to keep us in check from the Kodiak siege that's happening from the Forge. Scatter bomb comes in. This is going to hurt pretty bad. We lost a lot of shrouds, but we're going to keep our push anyways because of the fact that a great EMP Mac went right onto their Condor. So we're going to take out the Condor. We got a Spirit Assault going to be dropped in, and we're going to try and continue on with this push. But orange found light blue's base, and So there's one random vulture that's on the expansion base. And meanwhile, we're still trying to clear out what's on that other side. The Mantis are going to try and help, but I have a cleansing beam, and this cleansing beam could hit Orange pretty well. He's not paying attention, and a lot of the Banshees have got hurt, which is good to see. So cleansing beam's doing a little bit more damage, but that's all we're going to be able to do on that side. So now the Spartan has made it all the way to the right-hand side, and Arbiter is still doing a very good job clearing things out. I want to try and save him. I'm going to try and send my Shipmaster over to that left-hand side, but just once again, it's just not possible at this moment. So we're just going to continue to just stay here. Apple has once again lost all his bases. We got rid of another base by yellow. So I have not been keeping track on how many bases have been destroyed, but I would say at this point there's been a good like 18 bases that's been destroyed. And here's yellow's expansion of the expansion of the expansion base, with dark blue is using Anders' ult, bringing in the Sentinel boss lord of I don't even know at the moment. And we're going to start going after that base, and we're going to take it out pretty fast with the units that we have. So now let's take a look at this board. You still got orange with his two main bases, just like how I have my two bases. Yellow has gone back to take the expansion base that light blue originally had a few minutes ago. And light blue's just trying to expand everywhere, but great move by light blue. So this is something I want to talk about, because light blue actually got that base over there to pull orange's army on that left hand side, which is going to allow me to come in on this right hand side to try and hit the expansion base by orange. We do have a displacement, which means if the enemy does try to show up, which our only threat is orange, we'll be able to take them out of there and get rid of this economy base that they currently have. Speaking of which, there's not even a shield gen on this base, which is incredibly surprising. So dark blue is focusing on red's base of a base of a base, and it looks like they may be able to take that out. Now there is a shield gen, and I want to try and focus down on this base and take it out before this shield gen comes up. There isn't much health left remaining. Which one will be to it? Will it be the shield gen? Orange is shifting on over. They don't even care. Restoration drone has come in. Can we kill the base before the shield gen comes up? EMP Mac comes in, and the shield gen comes up. But like I mentioned, there is a base. I have a displacement that can be used, and if we use this displacement, we can get the army out of here. And here they are. And this is why Shipmaster can be a little bit broken. Displacement has been used. His whole army's gone, which means this expansion base is now going to be destroyed. The Reavers are going after the engineer, so they cannot heal, which means if we focus down on this base, orange will be left to one base, and the production will be cut in half. Even if the scatter bomb comes in, it's not going to be enough. Enemy player disconnects, and this ends up being the end of the game. Wow, that was a lot going on, especially later on in the game. I went 51 for 72, 123 for 71, and dark blue with the Anders siege did pretty good, but orange, their arbiter, whoa, he was all over the map being active. So I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, feel free to give it a like, and until the next commentary video, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, afternoon, or hour. I'm out.